Good morning everybody, welcome to this video. So obviously on Twitter I got requested to look at a few altcoins, so I'm gonna look in depth into them. So thank you everybody that commented on that. Now let's get straight into it. And right before I begin, I want to mention that in the description of this video you can find my course. It's free. I don't charge for education. I believe that education should be free for everybody. So I have pretty much gave mine away. Second, there's a Discord in the bio. If you want to join, feel welcome to do so. I can answer any question that comes up. So before wasting any more time, just check the description. You can find more information about me in there. Now let's look at the first three: So, Sui, Pepe. Let's take a look at So. Actually, let me look at this chart over here. I believe on ByBit I have something. Actually, So USDT, where was it? Oh yeah, there we go. So it's pretty obvious in my opinion. So over here you did have that weekly level and these anchored view ups, which came from the beginning of the uptrend. And the rejection over here was very technical as well. So if you look at the market profile from this section, so the value area high comes in there, you have the liquidity, also weekly level. So it had a rejection and then a back test, moved down. Then over here you had like equal lows, they got swept, and then you back tested the OTE. Pretty much if we take a look at, let's say this, you can clearly see the accumulation happening at the OTE. And pretty much right now, if you look a bit above, you have equal highs as well. So highs. So price, in my opinion, consolidating below them, is just preparing to break above them. And we've been in this range for pretty much the same amount as Bitcoin, so 7 months, pretty much 215 days. So yes, Solana is preparing for takeaway, in my opinion, for takeoff. But something to be aware of and to be looking at. So market cap, it's already at all-time high, so something to be aware of. However, in terms of trades, I would be very cautious, and in terms of investments as well. If Solana breaks below 120 again, I would be very cautious. Any opportunity that comes up, let's say over here in the other OT, maybe on this one over here, so if price comes below the low from 22nd of September, if price does this, I'll be looking for a long setup with an evaluation below this, and I will target probably above this high. So yeah, something like this would be a good setup. Solana is bullish, nothing to be worried about. Sui. Let's look at Sui. Pretty much a lot of the altcoins, to put it that way, some of them are already on the way to the new all-time high, and some of them are still in the accumulation phase, right? So in my opinion, you have to look at the altcoins which are which are impulsing while Bitcoin is correcting. So an example over here, so let's say Sui is into this weekly level, right? And then you have another weekly down here. Should you come back to 76 cents? It's too far away right now as we speak. You have a daily at 105. It's way too expanded in my opinion. So on Sui, let's think about something. I would probably look at the anchored view ups from this low and this low, and pretty much anything that comes into this box, I would look for a long. If this gives the pullback over here, I would look for a long for the new all-time high. So this is the area. It's bullish. You can clearly see the market structure. So over here you had this downtrend, and then over here you did the final sweep of that low. Then you break that structure. You kind of form some kind of a wedge over here, more like a back testing of this area. So then you just went pretty much parabolic from 75 cents to $1.90. So yeah, any pullback into this box over here, pretty much into this area, kind of back testing this inefficiency, I will look for a long fall in the all-time high. Next altcoin, Pepe. Pepe is one of the best looking coins right now, to be honest. So even in terms of bottom, I've been accumulating Pepe at 704, and the first time that I bought Pepe actually was down here. So it's been a long journey with Pepe, to be honest. But yeah, you pretty much broke out of this channel. If we take a look at, let's say, the delta, let me just show you quickly what I mean by that. Market order bubbles. So over here you can see the, maybe move over maybe to the daily. Yeah, to the daily is more clean. So yeah, over here you had this kind of a capitulation phase, and pretty much you had a 65% correction from the all-time high. Then you broke that out. So in my opinion, Pepe, any kind of consolidation over here would just, it's just preparing for a takeaway for the new all-time high. Like pretty much you can see all the breakout, positive delta, which is a good thing. Similar thing to over here. So let's say over here, yeah, so you did have a similar situation back in pretty much Q4 into Q1. You did have a similar situation. So if you take a look at this chart, it is looking very similar that we're in this phase over here. So something to be aware of and to be paying attention to. On the high term time frame, I believe Pepe is looking amazing. There is zero signs of weakness. So yeah, in terms of level, what I would be looking at, I would definitely want to see price standing above 834, 810, to be honest. Any kind of a consolidation phase that happens in here, I would look for continuation up higher. There is zero signs of weakness for Pepe right now as we speak. Even in terms of range, if we take a look at this whole area, we can clearly see that price is consolidating in the value area high. And what we know for a market profile, where price is consolidating, where price is building volume, where price is spending time either at value area high or value area low, it's most likely to break out. So pretty much you can see the interaction with value area low, very quick, just spike and bounce, spike and bounce. And this right here is not like spike and bounce down. Yeah, so it's very different, in my personal opinion. In terms of area, same thing. Like just look at the anchored view ups. Nothing crazy, nothing complicated. In my opinion, you can take a look maybe at this view up from where the impulse started. So yes, 937. But perhaps if you look at the lower time frames, you can clearly see that, let's say on the 1 hour, you had like range lows which are being conswept, and then you just came down and you took them yesterday or this night. So something to be aware of. There's nothing to be bearish on Pepe. Say like Sui 8 hour long after BTC, say like Sui 8 hour, say, yeah, I looked at say and I missed that long, and I spoke about it into my Discord. I spoke about this long from here and I got front run, but yeah, it's looking very similar. So over here you do have like accumulation, then you have like a back test of this summer accumulation. So in my opinion, say anything that comes again into this level, possibly like a double back test, it has to be looking for a long, especially with these highs over here which are not being swept. And over here you can clearly see the negative delta coming over here. Someone absorbed all that delta. So in my opinion, this is looking like a very fresh rounded bottom, and also accumulation phase on the summer. So yeah, anything that comes into this area, I will be looking for longs. Okay, boomer one day, boomer. I don't know if this is the pair, but let me see. If it's something that has low cap and it's not on trading view, it's not on trading view, mate. Sorry, I'm gonna skip this one. Phil, one day. Something that I don't like about Phil is that pretty much the best case scenario for Phil, in my opinion, would be coming up to the point of control. I don't see this thing breaking out of here. I don't see Phil as being priced as a good altcoin. So especially with these previous cycle coins, like this is a very old coin. The thing that you have to be aware of, this has been here since 2021. It's in a massive monthly downtrend, massive weekly downtrend. I would be staying away from anything that is coming from a previous cycle. Why? Because the developers have sold, they have taken their profit. Don't stick with old altcoins such as Feel, Dot, Atom. Stay away from these. Pretty much over here you see lots of buys. But it's still on the daily. You can see like you're clearly building high, lower high, lower high. This thing is looking disgusting. To be honest, I would be looking down over here, maybe to take out these equal lows on the daily. You can clearly see it clean as day, right? So here we have a daily level, and here we have like equal lows. So if price does this, it's acceptable. But on the high time frames, there's nothing to be bearish on Phil. Say I spoke about this GME on Sol Network daily. If we see it on an exchange, I would look into it. Let's see on Max. So I believe this pair GME is highly influenced by GME as a stock. So let's look into GME, especially with this squeeze up. This was people that bought into this are like have very little to none experience. That's my personal opinion. But coming back into the crypto pair, this thing is in a downtrend. Pretty much, if you see a scam pump, just exit it. Don't buy into this, in my opinion. There is no reason to be waiting for some kind of a squeeze, unless the GME as a stock starts squeezing up. But for GME as a stock to start squeezing up, you need to see a very big short to flow interest, which you don't have right now. The most short stock on the exchanges right now as we speak is connected to energy sources, so solar panels. This is the thing that's being most shorted on the stock exchanges right now. It has nothing to do with GME. However, that's about GME. XRP weekly, XRP USDT. It's just in a range, bro. Like I have this for a long time. Pretty simple. Buys into 46 cents and sells into 65. This can continue going on for long time. Even right now you can clearly see the negative delta married to pretty much the bottoms, bottom, and the positive delta married the tops. So top, possible top with sweep of that high. But on the weekly time frame, if you're looking to invest, don't do it in XRP. Test one daily. Test one daily. Let's see. So something that I like about Tesla right now, so you can clearly see the market profile. VAL, VAH, point of control, VAH, point of control, VAL, POC, VAL, VAH, POC. This time, this rotation to the downside came into the point of control but did not rotate down to the value low. So this is a very bullish factor in my opinion. When looking at market profiles, it's important to look at what price is not doing, right? So price did not rotate to the value low. So it is possible that it can be preparing for a breakout where possibly to that monthly level. Still, you have to be aware that you're still in a range between this level and this level. So I would not be looking for a long as we stand, because this is still resistance until proven otherwise. If we start flipping up, you're gonna get the back test most likely, so you can get in on the back test. But do not long here since it is still resistance. Based AI daily. Maybe this one. Still something that, if this is the coin, it's looking disgusting. If it's something else, base slabs. Oh, maybe this one. Okay, I get it now. Still zero to no data. There's absolutely nothing I can tell about this, my friend. I have absolutely no data to be speaking about anything. However, kind of a good top over here. On the daily time frame, that something I don't like is that you're following a bearish directional bias from yesterday. but you have lost this daily and this daily. I don't know, I have no data to be saying anything, to be honest. I'm gonna skip this one. TAI is a leader into the AI stuff right now, especially on the weekly. It's preparing for a new all-time. Actually, it's not this pair. What am I talking about? Oh, you're asking about TAI. I'm speaking about TAO. So in the AI stuff, TAO is taking the lead, and if we're talking about TAI, like this pair, in my opinion, on the weekly time frame, the previous weekly candle, very nice bullish engulfing candle. It's looking to take out these equal highs, in my personal opinion. Same thing, like pretty much as most of the altcoins, similar accumulation. You kind of came and back tested that high, so it's looking to take these highs over here, in my opinion. Wu actually short on Reef. Where is this thing coming from? Reef. I believe this is the right pair. There is not much to be speaking about. Short on Reef. Yeah, you can be short here. I mean, you have that delta spikes, you have it, so you have like a 3 top scenario, 1 push, 2nd push, 3rd push. You can be looking down to this imbalance area. However, it's kind of too obvious and too easy. Probably gonna come down and make a new high, because the structure right now on 12 hour, on 4 hour, it's still extremely bullish. You're building just these high highs and high lows. So until that changes, whatever short you get in, just take profits quickly, because you can clearly see you coming from a very, very bullish standpoint. And this is not like a blow off top as we speak, since you're coming from a massive uptrend. Wu 4 hour. The problem with the exchange coin of Wu is that every single influencer is getting paid into Wu from Wu, and they're just selling, and they're selling the Wu. So this is something to be aware of, right? It's pretty much in a range, weekly. Pretty much I sold my Wu over here, because I did bought some into previous October, and I sold it over here, and since then I have not looked into it. Pretty much, let's look on the 4 hour time frame. Now, most people, what they would say is that you're in a range between 61 and 11 cents, but this is too wide. This is too big. You want to be a bit more accurate with these things. So in my personal opinion, on Wu, you did sweep these lows. This low is being swept. This over here is an inducement. So you are trying to change the character, don't get me wrong. Like especially over here, you did test the OTE, and then you broke that structure. You have a shallow pullback. I will look at the anchored view ups again, number 1 and number 2. So anything that comes into that area, you can be looking for longs, and just trade the market structure on 4 hour. It's that simple, really. So you even over here you can see like high, and they are not being swept. So you can be looking for a long opportunity into this area. I'm not saying that price has to go that long, but if it does, you can be looking for that long into from point A to point B. But this high here was swept. These highs here are not being swept, so I believe price has a reason to come back into them. Rune 1 day. This is again an old coin, but it's kind of, so it bounced off that monthly. It came up, came down, tested this inefficiency, moved up. The current structure on the daily time frame is bullish, and if it does come down at the Valor low and the OTE, you can be looking for a long from $4 up to $6.50. Simple as that. But on the high time frames, the thing I don't like is that it's just an altcoin, man. So I wouldn't get very bullish on it until I see it breaking out of that value area high. So yeah, you can be looking for a long like that. It's still, price doesn't have to come that low. Again, it can be doing something like this, just chopping around the point of control. Usually price chops around the point of control, so this could not be the high. Like, it can be doing something like this. Like, that's definitely a possibility. It does not have to come that low, because in terms of percentage, this is 26% pullback. TIA 1 day. The thing with TIA, if you take a look at the funding rates, so let's look into it. TIA USDT, take a look on Binance. Let's look into the 6 hour. So pretty much you can see the funding rates, they're being negative throughout pretty much the last few weeks perhaps. So you can clearly see the increase in the open interest, funding rates going down. This is a scenario for a short squeeze, however the market structure is still bearish. And there's nothing that can make me long into TIA right now, because there's much better coins. Just focus on the things that the market is pricing as bullish ones, like Pepe, maybe Onzo, Bread, perhaps things that are being priced and are looking bullish. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I see lots of people making the mistake that they'll start looking into altcoins and they just see something that's been going down tremendously and has the possibility to make 70-80% push up. But you have to remember, if this thing is being priced as being shit, most likely it is shit. So be aware of that. The market is gonna price everything the way it's supposed to be priced. So if something is being priced as shit, most likely it is shit. If something is looking as shit, most likely it is shit. It is really that simple, and you don't have to overcomplicate things. Can TIA just go pump up to new all-time high? Yes, but the bearish market structure on the daily, on the weekly, on the 12-hour, just making me think that we're gonna revisit the $4 mark, even with the negative funding rates. However, if funding rates keep spiking down, what you can do, set the limit over here, have your stop loss down here, and if the funding rate is still that negative, you can be just looking for another move up from that level. It bounced once, twice, 3 times, maybe 4 times, who knows. But the bearish market structure still remains as factor number 1. In terms of volume profiles, like even you can clearly see it as day. You have range number 1 and you have range number 2. You rejected the value high, didn't broke up, so it's just looking down to below $5. So yeah, that's my personal opinion about TIA. Thank you everybody for sharing the altcoins and the things you wanted me to look at. Any questions, just let me know below the video. I'll make sure I answer them, and thank you for watching.